I'm pleased to introduce Michelle Rhee, former Chancellor of the Washington, D.C. school system and founder and CEO of Students First, which she calls a national movement to transform education.
And the last topic that I wanted to talk about real briefly today, which to me might be the most important, and that's education. In the last year, I got married, so I want to introduce my wife, Michelle Johnson. Did you guys hear that? Michelle Johnson. Please stand up. Being married to an educator certainly has its benefits. We won't go there today, though.
You heard what he just said, Mr. Nathaniel. What do you think on this fucking moron's thoughts about thinking he is the mayor of the entire damn country, thinking that his wife is just like Michelle Obama, thinking that we could spend hundreds of millions of dollars on shit that the government is already spending money on that's not working, and thinking that everybody is a bunch of morons for not agreeing with the stuff that has already been tried and has already failed.
Yeah, he obviously, thinks very highly of himself. Have you ever heard of a mayor who has a State of the City address? And he obviously, has a really close relationship with Obama. He helped him out with that scandal he had.
Yeah, and like you said, who in the hell is paying for all of these trips to D.C.?
Yeah, how often? Half the time we go to the damn city council, he's not even there.
Too often.
He must be, on the East Coast as often as he is here.
Now he's talking about $586 million, which is way more than half of the $800 and something million budget.
He's talking about
it's Obama Part 2 all over again.
Exactly. And he's someone who just bought into the system. He thinks, if he kisses Obama's ass and does all this shit, that he's going to get ahead somehow.
Mr. President, on behalf of the nation's mayors and the United States Conference of Mayors, as the CEO and Executive Director, I hereby install you as the 72nd President of the United States Conference of Mayors, and with this gavel, give you the authority to govern our organization over the coming months. Congratulations. Right.
Thanks, Paul. We're going to get over here with a gavel shot right here.
He probably thinks in his mind that he's going to be the next president.
Listen, we all know that Obama is a great lover of basketball. He does his little fucking NCAA tournament polls on ESPN and shit like that. He's obviously a big fan of Kevin Johnson, Mr. former great basketball player, who I've had much respect for. I really did. I had a lot of respect for Kevin Johnson, and he has completely lost every sense of respect that I ever had for him, because anybody that has anything to do with Obama is completely corrupt and has not the best intentions for anybody but themselves.
I was an NBA point guard for 12 years. I know a thing or two about assists. Right now it's time for us to assist one another, and it could not be more important. So now that you know, make sure to tell someone. Visit healthcare.gov to get more information and get covered today.
And now he's got him and his wife spewing the same fucking thing that Michelle Obama is spitting, talking about education and shit like that.
Why is it so important for city governments to be represented here at the DNC?
I think it's very clear that we're part of the U.S. Conference of Mayors, and if you look, the majority of the population in this country are in cities, the majority of jobs that are created are in cities, and the majority of GDP in states are in cities. So both parties, Democrat and Republicans, understand that if you want job creation, if you want to get this country back on track, cities are going to play a critical role. And it's important for us as mayors to be active and be engaged at both Republican and Democrat conventions. We were able to do that.
How do city governments make this country a better place to live in?
Well, first and foremost, we care about public safety, we care about job creation, and we care about education. You can't have a great city without, great public schools. That's going to be important. When you talk about infrastructure, you talk about roads and bridges and highways, but it's also a way that we create jobs. So that's one of the things that we're pushing. And then mayors, and this is government at the state and national level, is to make sure your citizens are safe and secure. So those are the three big areas of focus for us.
And I want to know how his wife is benefiting from all these, from all this money that's going around that he says. Because she's obviously going to benefit from it somehow. She's tied into all the everything education in the region.
I don't know where she's from or what she's done or anything like that. But this guy, he was in Phoenix for a hell of a long time. And then all of a sudden, he stops playing basketball and comes to Sacramento, and all of a sudden, he's mayor. And then he's making trips to fucking DC. And it's obvious that he's got some kind of ulterior motive that's got nothing to do for the well-being of the people of Sacramento. And it's time for him to be called out on it.
That's happening. Obama oust AmeriCorps director who investigated Friend. AP reports Obama incredibly corrupt. President Obama says he has lost confidence in the Inspector General who investigates AmeriCorps and other national service programs and has told Congress he is removing him from the position. Obama's move follows an investigation by IG Gerald Walpin finding misuse of federal grants by a nonpartisan education group led by Sacramento Mayor Kevin Johnson, who is an Obama supporter and former NBA basketball star. Walpin was criticized by the acting U.S. attorney in Sacramento for the way he handled the investigation of Johnson and St. Hope Academy, a nonprofit group that received hundreds of thousands of dollars in federal grants from the Corporation of National and Community Service.
And it's time for the rest of the council to be called down on it too. It's time to see who the people who represent the people of Sacramento. It's time to see who they actually represent. It's time to call them out on their little stupid-ass decisions that don't make any sense.
And if you go down and see, it's one thing watching videos of these people, but if you see them in person, you hear them talk. I mean, they're a bunch of fucking idiots, man. This guy, he's just an empty suit. Okay, he looks good. Yeah. He could read a teleprompter great. He could smile. He looks great on camera. He could say all the stupid catchphrases and crap.
He could dribble a basketball just like Obama.
Yeah, but watch all these videos. He has nothing but good things, great things to say about Obama.
I'm Kevin Johnson, and I'm running for mayor of Sacramento, California. I'm here at the Democratic Convention in Denver, Colorado, because I'm a proud American and I'm a proud Democrat. And Barack Obama has done something that we have not seen in 40-some-odd years in our lifetime. He's inspired and struck a chord in this country, and I think America's about to have real change.
I mean, you have good people on the city council like Fong,
which
he is qualified.
Which now he's trying to get Fong on his side, just like you heard him in the video.
But and then you got people like this. I mean, you got to go down to the city council and just listen to this guy. He doesn't know what the fuck is going on. Except
which is probably why he's not
there too often. Deals. He gets all these deals. I mean, how many freaking times does that have to come out in the newspaper that, he's trying to scam money with his foundations and shit? How many times does that happen?
That's what it's all about, is fucking money. Anytime you go to the city council, I mean, you go down there and have public comments, and they don't pay any fucking attention whatsoever to anybody who talks down there. Unless you go down there and you talk about money, and all of a sudden, you mention the word money, and their fucking eyes lift up and their ears perk up, and they're all eyes and all ears as soon as you mention the word money. If you're down there talking about something related to the fucking public outcry, you get up there and have public comments, and they don't want to hear shit. You get up there and mention money, and they have fucking, somebody gets up there talking about the marina. They're only supposed to have 5 minutes to talk because they're lobbyists. So they get their 5 minutes to talk, and then the council members and them just have a complete conversation for 20 or 30 minutes on the fucking shit because they're talking about money. Why don't we go down there and talk about money, about fluoride? Or how about the radiation? Which is another thing that I was going to mention the next time I was at council.
Yes, these men and their hypnotized followers call this a new order. It is not new, and it is not order.